Mark Warner. He cut inside and just takes an extra touch here. You think it opens up for him.
You're live, boss.
Yeah, I noticed that. All right.
We all are one, make we live together. Without peace, we don't go there before. Like you neighbor, not make palava. This salon, nine no more we get. For the sake of the beginning, let we make salon. What do you not do for mama salon? When they say water, you say for front to back. And inside you then give peace a chance. Let me make salon. Anything you do, give peace a chance. Let me make salon. And inside you go, give peace a chance. Let me make salon. Salon man, how you they do? Salon woman do ya push out. This is not the time for let we make the country. Government property, not on land you own. Not go to the streets, not if na office. Waiting up for we, not on land you own. Very like salon, very put on first. Live at peace inside salon. When they say water, you say fuck road you back. And inside you then give peace a chance. Let me make salon. Anything you do, give peace a chance. Let me make salon. And inside you go, give peace a chance. Let me make salon. Listen to me. Sarah Leone, so now listen well. Learn some lessons and get some blessings. Stop the blame game that we make salon. This and another one, they say na this. Election time, not on time for fights. Make salon, not boil this country. If we live in peace, salon will go before. When they say water, you say for road you back. And inside you then give peace a chance. Let me make salon. Anything you do, give peace a chance. Let me make salon. And inside you go, give peace a chance. Let me make salon. Before ya, how na they do? Bagaya, una kushe. For make salon, make we live in peace. If we make salon, better go there for we. No place like home, no place like salon. Green, white, and blue, make we raise them up. Let me make salon, let me not boil salon. And that we love our Sierra Leone. When they say water, you say for grow the bank. And inside you they give peace a chance. Let me make salon. Anything you do, give peace a chance. Let me make salon. And inside you go.
All right. So, Leone, good evening, or good afternoon, or good morning from any side of the world where you dey and when you dey join we. So, today's program will look into the economy. A few weeks ago, the Minister of Finance, Bingole, na Parliament, the supplementary budget. And this supplementary budget, na additional expenditures them way government want for undertake for this accounting year of 2025. So you go seek the blessing of Parliament and lay this instrument in Parliament. We dey look into am because the leader we get the pedigree, we understand the economy, we new hope. We we all hope to now for carry redeem way from this economic downturn, be make in extraction out of that budget way then go lay. So today we dey analyze them for let the people of this country know how bad the economy is, everything exactly we need for do for fix them, courtesy of our new hope, Dr. Kaifala Marah. He puts together a own take we title Shining Numbers, Deep Problem, Why Sierra Leone's 2025 budget needs more than good headlines. This na a two-page document where Dr. Marah puts together when a new extraction on wetin the Minister of Finance recently do wey go put or e go table na Parliament as supplementary budget. In this program, we dey here for educate, for inform, and for inspire. Whatever the case, we know say along the line we go, trample on some people, not biasly, but for God and country. Like somebody last week try for deviate the spirit upon which this program day for. This program basically day for educate, for inspire, and for inform people, especially the All People's Congress, where they can take the mantle of leadership from this mess where we did. So at this point, we don't time and again call on the All People's Congress to do the right thing, especially those who get for vote. Those who get the opportunity for vote the right thing. We don't in this program do justice to every individual. We don't pay respect to all of them and tell them make them all come together for support Dr. Marah. We don't do unbiasedly, but clearly the evidence shows say Dr. Marah more responsive for the job we did. So this na the program build a new hope. Today we can analyze Dr. Marah intake on the supplementary budget where the Minister of Finance recently tabled. In that budget, a whole lot happened. A whole lot happened. We can discuss that. So pay attention. Shining numbers, deep problems, and why Sierra Leone's 2025 budget need more than good headlines. Now the issue we can discuss today.
This salon, I no more regrets. For the sake of the beginning, let me make salon. What do you not do for mama salon? When they say water, you say for brought you back.
Sierra Leoneans, the take of Dr. Marah on the supplementary budget with the Minister of Finance lay. I will read them and I will explain them. Today, now this will be discussed, courtesy of this program. The title again, Shining Numbers, Deep Problem, Why Sierra Leone's 2025 budget needs more than good headline by Dr. Kaifala Marah. Sierra Leoneans have heard the story before, statistics that shine in official speeches but dim in the light of every reality. The 2025 supplementary budget is being sold as a triumph of fiscal consolidation and credibility. Yet, behind the smile and statistical gains, our economy remains fragile, our institutions strained, and our people still struggling under the weight of rising prices and limited opportunities. This is not simply an economic story, it is a story of trust. Trust in our leaders to make reforms that match their words. Trust that the process touted in Parliament will reach the market, the classroom, the hospitals, and the streets where Sierra Leoneans live their lives. Without that trust, even the brightest number are meaningless.
Anything you do, give peace a chance. Every make salon, and inside you go, give peace a chance. Every make salon.
So, Sierra Leoneans, Dr. Marah had time for the Foundation that the Minister of Finance go talk fine talk. A try for cosmetize the nature of the economy. And see, we all know the of course the jargon, cosmetic development, courtesy of the president. So the Minister of Finance go lay to get in a parliament a very fine document. And this document we call the supplementary budget for 2025. A try for paint a picture that the economy did do well. So Dr. Marah, they try for say, this economy where they like say they do well, problem they did. And I make a lay foundation say we don't tell the story. And then story there is sweet for arena is, but the reality on the ground completely different. So they read forward. When I addressed the gathering at Bintimani Conference Center on the 10th of July 2025, I spoke as a Sierra Leonean deeply concerned about our nation's economic trajectory. The government's subsequent presentation of the supplementary budget has left me with deeper concern. This memorandum provides a critical appraisal of the government's presentation of the 2025 supplementary budget under the theme Fiscal Consolidation and Budget Credibility, which came against a backdrop of headline improvement in inflation, interest rates, and GDP growth. Yet, beneath these statistics lie deeper structural weaknesses that threaten our long-term stability, limit our ability to invest in the nation's future, and erode public confidence. This is a budget that manages perception while postponing the hard reforms that could secure real stability and prosperity. So, in the words of Dr. Kaifala Marah, it therefore states that the Minister of Finance go pull story in a parliament, and the story he go pull, he go paint a picture. In economics, we get what we call economic fundamental. In economic fundamental, you get the core, when are the OLA. But it bases this in budgets on few things. What if based on? It based on, it say the title of this budget now fiscal consolidation and budget credibility. What does this mean? They say they want for see how best they will consolidate, the fiscal space. That is the Ministry of Finance will consolidate all them policies then so that they will get what we call policy coherence. And they say budget credibility. So this they speak to one thing, say there was no budget credibility. So now a title this fiscal consolidation and budget credibility, which to me alone na a defeat. that you have been Minister of Finance and now you are putting together a document with title and say fiscal consolidation and budget credibility. This is supposed to be your job, Mr. Minister. This is supposed to be part of your job for you to consolidate the fiscal space. And you also need to be your job for able to give you what you call budget credibility because that is why you've been paid. But the presentation what you do, you base that on few things. You say inflation don't go down. That is one fundamental. You say the interest rate in the banks will also improve positively on the life of people, and you say GDP growth stability. You know go up, you know go down, but it's stable. And then you say, yes, now this you base the budget on. I mean, inflation, stability, GDP growth, interest rate, and inflation. So Dr. Marah is saying, this now waiting you go present in parliament, and you say this thing you present in parliament shows say the economy they do well. But then fundamentally, I not enough for show say the economy they do well. Dr. Marah say you don't misinform the people. The reality on the ground, not so it be. Meaning these are shining numbers, in numbers where they should say we are doing well, where you see them on the outlook, it goes. And then we get deep-rooted problems where then at the country where you're not able to address Mr. Minister. That is why Dr. Marah called these shining numbers deep problem why Sierra Leone's 2025 budget needs more than good headlines. So the minister tried to make good headlines that they are doing extremely well by pointing at only a few things. And even the improvements where they don't do is not substantial. The improvement on inflation not substantial, the improvement on interest rate not substantial, the improvement on GDP growth not substantial. I always don't state this. We got what to call GDP per capita. That is the individual value. So if at all, what's in the president and the minister of finance they say that we don't increase or we don't improve the GDP, we fulfill on our street. But you know they feel on our street because I mean when the GDP grow, we get what we feel on our street. Because now the GDP in growth, now they divide by the population, where they lead it to get standard, of living. So let me go further. Dr. Marah in executive summary, it said the following. I will take one through that.
Salon Maduya Pusha. This and the temple we make the country. Government property, not on land, you
So the minister don't present fine documents where say the the inflation don't go down, GDP don't increase, the interest rate stable, everything okay now. So that means the economy is well. But down there, layman street where they buy fuel for riding Okada, no they feel them. The lower grade employee where they pay less than 1 million in office, no they feel them. So in essence, Dr. Marah they question the credibility of the statement where the minister makes a improvement on the. That is why a title in peace, shining numbers, deep problems. So now going out to the executive summary where Dr. Marah presents. It said the governance supplementary spending plan acknowledged fiscal challenges, but largely avoid the comprehensive reform needed to address them. The macroeconomic gains, it celebrates inflation down from 54 in October 2023 to 7.1% June 2025. Treasury bill rate falling from 41.3% to 14.18%. GDP growth revised to 4.5% are welcome but fragile. Beneath these gains, gross reserves have fallen to 1.8 months of import cover, far below adequacy level. Public debt has risen to 3.1 billion, split between 1.8 billion external and 1.3 billion domestic. Revenue mobilization has underperformed by over 1.1 billion, with GST collection particularly weak. Capital investment, the lifeblood of future growth, has been halved by 2.2 billion to 1.1 billion. Recurrent spending continues to rise, driven by interest obligation and subsidy areas of the additional 3.7 billion in the supplementary budget, raising the total from 27.6 billion to 31.3 billion. Nearly 60% goes to this recurrent cost. The fiscal deficit remains at 3.8% of GDP, but this stability is maintained through short-term borrowing rather than lasting reforms. So, people, Dr. Marah don't question and he don't support her with fact. Mind you, this man and you work this, and the expertise this way he gets. For look at figures, especially when it comes to macroeconomics and that of microeconomics. So they don't question. They talk about GDP, when a great macroeconomic fundamental, but when you put onto GDP per capita, the microeconomic aspect, you realize the impact not great. So he said all these gains where the minister go boast of na parliament say the government don't make. The reduction in inflation, the lending power, the interest rates, the treasury bill, that are the interest rates from loaning from bank, we don't go down, and then the GDP revised, we don't also show say as we make progress. It's a no substantial, meaning a fragile. When I say something fragile, now like a way board sit on a hammock. At any time, it can fall. And this economy, we don't always state and say now a fragile economy. A very, very fragile. And the government, they do things the way now substantial shocks absorbers where go able, absorb the shock, will go affect the fragility where this economy they suffer for. So you don't talk fine. The numbers are good. The numbers are great. That is what Dr. Marah is saying. But amongst all of this, where you don't say the numbers are great, we don't get inflation down, we don't also get GDP up, we don't get interest rate down. All of this is in a fine number. They're saying a good thing. He said, but listen, he said the gross reserve have fallen to 1.8. 1.8, that is 1.8 months. And 1.8 months for import cover. Now, the country forgets reserve. And the country in reserve for able for look after the country for 3 months. Then they call import cover. And this government be inherit a 3-month import cover from an Eskoloma regime. But now, Dr. Marah asks her now, the import cover where they left at 3 months, don't go down to now 1.8 months. It's almost there at the middle. So it don't reduce from 3 months to 1.5 months. Then I'm waiting Dr. Marah the question. So if this man they say we don't make progress, why the import cover no they at standard of 3 months, now 1.8 months? 2, it said public debt has risen to 3.1 billion. Mind you, this now not so in loans, now in dollar. Sierra Leoneans, the public debt makes me ordinarily when on outside, then go take debt, a debtor. This $3.1 billion by 10 million population, if then divide them, we are all debtors. So not go around and the past say you no get debt. The government don't succeed for impoverish the nation. It don't put the country into serious debt. where the debt don't increase to 3.1 billion. We make every Sierra Leonean, even the Okada rider, the man where they sleep now, even Chris man, all man don't become a debtor. And this is not sustainable. According to the Brundtland Report 1987, it states few things. It says sustainable development and development where they meet within the current people they need without compromising the future generation for also meet their need. Then awaiting the Brundtland reports define about sustainable development. Now you look like you look what them people here don't do. The import cover where they inherit at 3 months, they don't bring it down to 1.5 months. Then don't also increase the debt. The debt don't increase to 3.1 billion. We don't make everybody in Sierra Leone a debtor. And it will be very difficult for all we pay. Meaning, this generation get for pass off, we die. We begin and can the inheritance for pay this and able for pay them back. This is the kind of situation we then don't put we into. Now, this 3.1 billion, Dr. Marah said it is divided into two. Then get the government external debt, and then the government internal. The external is at 1.8 billion external US dollar. Now, in this government don't succeed for trust. Now, in this government don't succeed for trust. And the internal now 1.3 billion domestic. When are internal. When you put all of these two together, now give you the 3.1 billion, we make every Sierra Leonean, even those in the diaspora, we all now don't get debt. That is what the government, that is what who the club say we president don't do well. This is not the kind of debt we don't put into. So now let Dr. Marah question him. He says, shiny numbers. The numbers are very good. Yes, inflation is good. I mean, interest rate is good. GDP is good. But it's not sustainable because it stands on what? Mosquito leg. On mosquito leg. Look the kind of debt we get as a country. Many Sierra Leoneans were down there. The people in Angola, the one that were in Biambo, the one that were in Biambo village, not even know this kind of debt where the government don't take what in and do with the money. Yet the minister go to parliament, he talk fine, talk say the economy they do well. But this kind of debt will not go for pay. Now, the danger is the 1.8 billion external debt will be the pay. Now, payment where it be say you the servicer. You the servicer. So, not say already 1 million exact, you the service the money, you the pay interest for the loan where you take. That's how dangerous it is. Now, capital investment, the lifeblood of future growth, has been halved. What's in a capital investment? Then major development programs of the government they undertake, like the infrastructure development project. Then it been done there at what? 2.2 billion. Then at the situation where they inherit. Now, because of this reckless fiscal management of the budget, then don't reduce some capital development don't come down instead of the 2.2 billion where it did to 1.1 billion. So meaning development, these numbers where the minister go quote say now this progress they don't make. This progress will don't make too. It anchored on this. Meaning we give away development programs, capital development programs for allowing to achieve this. So you don't see how these people are very deceitful to us. This clearly shows that this is a deceit. Yes, it is na parliament, it is talk fine. But the development at the expense of capital investment, where they meet at 2.2 billion, we don't go down to 1.1 billion. So meaning development-wise, we are zero. That are the kind of level where this government don't put. Recurrent spending. What is recurrent spending? The spending where government is spend on a monthly, quarterly, yearly basis, where in always like salaries, lubricants, administrative costs, fuel over here, blah blah blah, all of these. Recurrent spending continues to rise. The CO2 they talk about the wage bill, the balance of pay. Now, the recurrent spending, the spending where government they make on monthly, on a yearly basis, it they continue for rise. So yes, we don't make improvement in GDP, we don't make improvement in interest rates, we don't make improvement also in what? Inflation. But now at the expense of what? Capital investment and recurrent spending, where they go up. So meaning all of these figures where this minister go quote now figures them when are cosmetic figures. In actual, sense, the economy they suffer, it is suffocate. So recurrent spending continue to rise by interest obligation and subsidy arrears of the addition of 3.7 billion in supplementary budget, raising the total from 27.6 billion million to 31.3 billion. Nearly 60% goes to this recurrent cost. So recurrent spending, then boku spending they already started band, the worker, the travel, the this, that, and don't go up, so now we don't increase by over 60%. The fiscal deficit remained at 3.8% of GDP, but this stability is maintained through short-term borrowing rather than lasting reforms. So, what in Dr. Marah they say now that this kind of thing where this minister don't go state, a fine, but not for the short run. And not able for sustain for too long. So we don't go in for sustainability. This now waiting Dr. Marah say, and this now waiting the experts in economic development they say. So then people away they say Dr. Marah is not talking, Dr. Marah is not saying this and that. This is what Dr. Marah is known for. Constructive criticism.
This is Shagan's music, the hottest. Surround you on the town, kuna the goo. Surround you, yes, una pusho. We all are one, make we live together. Without peace, we don't go there before. Like you neighbor, no make palava. This salon, mine no more gets. For the sake of the picking and let we make salon. What you?
So, Leoneans, this is not the state of the economy. And Dr. Marah, they continue for question the progress with this government said and don't make. With evidence, with fact. Now, we don't state the data. We'll go further. Core concerns. This is not what Dr. Marah said. It's a collapse of capital investment, sustainability challenges. It's the halving of capital expenditure from 2.2 billion to 1.1 billion signal a retreat from the national building investment in infrastructure, in health, in energy. This contraction is particularly troubling, given that nearly 60% of the additional 3.7 billion in supplementary spending is going to recurrent obligation rather than development projects. The trade-off is clear. Resources that could have funded new schools road, energy system are instead being diverted to service arrears and interest payments, offering little to no long-term economic return. Now, this now waiting Dr. Marah say again that the minister don't quote fine figures, but out of these figures, for example, capital development. What's in a capital development? Infrastructure development. Development the way they go on health, on energy, road infrastructure, building, and all of this. When that's not sustainable development. Like in the one that we are accountants, where you will look at your asset level, you get the fixed asset, and then you get current asset. The capital investment now like your fixed asset. Now your investment when are in the bring returns, now in the development with tangible. Now the government don't succeed for reduce that development. We will benefit me and you. We will make you get access to electricity. We will get access to clean drinking water, to healthcare facility, to all of these basic amenities of life. Government don't put all that money wey for go today and then don't count on recurrent expenditure. Expenditures on wetin? Frivolous things like then traveling, salary for pay themselves well, and this kind of thing. So Dr. Mara say, he said the trade-off, wetin na trade-off? Una don I mean decide for look at wetin the development, this the I mean the capital investment wey na im the people dey look up to as growth, as sustainable development. Una don wetin compromise am for wetin? Clearly for recurrent expenditures. Money wey for go for road una take am una spend am by una sef. Money wey for go for healthcare una take am una spend am by una sef. And not only that, una don go trust some kind debt, and now for look after dem debt dem dey wey you dey pay. Like for example, if you go loan 5 million loans, wey you dey go pay, you no dey pay this 5 million loans exactly, you dey pay with interest, right? And when you dey pay this money with interest, you dey service am. For example, if the person wey go take am to na IMF no to salon dem dey, not to like na salon commercial bank transfer wey you dey pull am dey say na GT bank. No, you dey send am out of the country, meaning you dey pay, I mean, service. You dey service that loan dey because you dey pay am in dollars for let it go. You know that dey because for the currency continue for depreciate like how e dey depreciate, so because you dey use more loan for service the dollar account of then trust their own trust, then that's their own debt, who don't take. So Dr. Mara say e unsustainable. He say unsustainable debt service burden. He say interest payments in the supplementary budget outpace capital spending, meaning more is spent on debt than on growth. Over half of domestic revenue is now consumed by debt servicing, a ratio that leaves the little space for development. Short-term domestic borrowing at high cost expose the economy to rollover risk and rising interest bills. Dr. Mara being an expert in this, they make it very clear and they tell the people know this, that all wetin the minister say na complete lie, na a facade, a complete misleading. Now, even the debt wey dem get for pay, half of domestic revenue is now consumed by debt servicing. So the money wey we dey get, wey now we dey collect, wey dem dey generate from them, from your taxpayers, we wey dey take for who dey hold and get wetin dem call pay as you earn, wey dey move from we. The one wey dey do business, I mean, everybody wey dey pay tax. That revenue wey now we dey generate and take am to government. Half of that money dey instead of spend am on development for the people of this country, so that people will work classroom, dem go get, I mean, development. Then they take am back because dem no go trust bad debt for pay their debt dey wey we go pay am forever. I don make am very clear say na 3.1 billion United States dollar debt now we get, meaning all of us we all na debtor in Sierra Leone. So no go round and go and bluff say you no get debt. And this don't become so worrisome because Salon don't become a debt distressed nation. Meaning, it will reach a point to able for pay. Something else can happen because we are a debt distressed nation. This na money we where they alive so. We go there, we no don't pay, we begin and can inherit this debt where they not be no way to spend the money. Who will force where they alive? We no know what government do them money. Yeah? We dey pay money where we don't know what government do with them, and then where we there we begin and come and do, then begin pay that same debt. This is not the action of the government where citizens the question, the way Dr. Mara the question. So we will continue with the video.
When they say water, you say come from the back. And inside you there, give peace a chance. Every day salon, anything you do, give peace a chance. Every day salon, and inside you go, give peace a chance. Every day salon.
So we will continue for read this piece where Dr. Mara push. It's a revenue collection failures. That one the way they collect revenue. NRA. It said GST, that are goods and services tax. It's a shortfall of more than 1.1 billion, points to deep-rooted weaknesses in tax administration. The absence of a comprehensive tax exemption review or reforms to custom and port operations leaves major leakages untouched. We all know when His Excellency the President in Power, he will talk to the people of this country, say, account for close the leakages, the slippages that we did in government. Now, the inefficiency along within the tax system. Recently, we know say somebody they work at the NRA where they say anti-corruption don't, indict them. They indict them for unexplained wealth. You get money way, you know able to explain how you get them. Simple. Now like where you teach village drum, not about what thief another thing. If you go thief the village drum, also you want to go sit down for enjoy. This is the problem. So the pitfall, the weaknesses within the tax administration alone don't account for about 1.1 billion loss. That is how deep-rooted the losses don't increase. The president say he wants for close leakages, but look at the leakage where Dr. Marah is drawing attention to. Mr. President, look at this leakage of where you say they can't close. Will they continue? Government and institutional drift. It said despite repeated calls, the budget contains no measure to strengthen transparency, accountability, and institutional capacity. No progress has been made on establishing a court-based panel, reforming travel policy, reviewing the wage bill, strategic projects, the stock exchange, young entrepreneurs fund, skill development fund, digital economy initiative remain abandoned since 2018. So, in all of this, Dr. Marah draw attention of the government again that despite the minister, he called this budget say now a budget for credibility. But Dr. Marah drawing attention for saying, despite repeated calls, the budget contains no measure to strengthen transparency. So you would say now for with budget credibility, but the budget not speak to transparency and accountability and also institutional capacity. It said no progress has been made on establishing a court-based panel. Court-based panel is necessary for this government for even for adopt. I always don't say this. Dr. Marah call court-based panels. Me go call them austerity. Let the president and his team sit down and let them revise their spending appetite. The country not generate much, better money not come. The development will be the push on development is not sustainable. This don't lead to we being a fragile economy at the expense of, debt distress. We can see us that way. They undermine all of this. When a serious, disadvantage, where they undermine the performance of the budget. So, Dr. Marah said, let me go for court-based panel. Let me stop this boku spend. Let me also stop this boku travel. Plane traveling, not like a road traveling. Any move where you move, they spend millions and billions of the people the money. If they money, then they all able for circulator within the economy, things will change. Let me review the wage bill. We know that wage, coherence. Everybody gets in. Some man will get first degree, then they pay 7 million. Some man get first degree some side, then they pay 15 million. But for the same government, then you. So we need to review the wage bill so that we'll be able to get a wage bill where uniform. A wage bill where uniform. In all of these again, strategic projects like the stock exchange, like young entrepreneurs fund, skill development fund, digital economy initiative remain abandoned since 2018. Yet the Minister of Finance they go na Parliament and go misinform the people say the economy they perform well. At the expense of what? At the expense of debt, at the expense of capital development, at the expense of at the expense of all of them finding their skills development for young entrepreneurs for stock exchange, all of these. So Dr. Mara, they question this supplementary budget.
Solomon, how you dey do? Solomon, do ya push up? This na the time.
So service delivery breakdown, delayed public sector wage, underfunded education, subvention and arrears to service reliably and protecting citizens' welfare, with nearly 60% of supplementary budget new allocation going to recurrent costs. There is inadequate physical space to maintain core public service and eroding both budget credibility and social contract. Yet the minister say the budget, the country economy they do well. It dey quote figures wey fine, but underneath the figures na rotten. It just start like a way something and you go buy market, you take the fine one they put on top. When you see am from afar, you say, oh, this is good. But when you dig under now, everything rotten. That is how Saleh economy completely dey. External vulnerability and policy credibility. It say with reserve critically low. Because of the reserve wey dey low, that make we import cover dey na 1.8. Gross reserve have dropped to 1.8 of import cover to below the 3 months international adequacy benchmark. And the IMF program in jeopardy, meaning the program wey the IMF get for this country, e dey no get road. E no get road, e box up first because they don't eat bad. Yeah? The administration's policy credibility is in question. The decline in inflation, while welcome appears, partly driven by temporal subsidy measures rather than sustained structural stabilization. Again, Dr. Mara is saying this, what you don't do so, because this is an economist, when you don't go play with the figure, ain't no what you don't do, when make people reach to this level. So now they tell you now that you know say now bad work you do, you don't compromise sustainability for waiting for this one. For this unsustainable, goal where they brag of so now. Now, like in life, like you say, minor, you minor, you end up for go minor, you end up for go major, you minor. That is exactly what Dr. Mara do so now. They ask her. A reform agenda for transformation, Sierra Leone needs a course correction, one that moves beyond managing statistics to building the institutional, economic, and social foundation for lasting prosperity. He said the reform outlined below are not abstract ideals. He said they are drawn from proven measures that, when implemented in the past, help stabilize our economy, restore investor confidence, and deliver tangible improvement to citizens' lives. Implemented together, they will not only address immediate vulnerability, but also lay the groundwork for a diversified, resilient, and inclusive economy. Immediate priorities, Dr. Mara is concluding. He said, 1, establish a court-based panel for senior officials and independent experts to oversee expenditure discipline. 2, it said enforce travel policy reform and conduct a wage bill review to contain recurrent costs. 3, conduct a comprehensive tax exemption audit to close leakages and broaden the revenue base. So many people know you will have these criminal entrepreneurs who will be coming to the country. And when they come, then they go in for waiting. And they go in for tax waiver. And tax avoidance, that's the right word. Then they go in for tax avoidance. So if government they go and give them a waiver there, so at the expense of what? If fine for give tax consensus as voting, for let you for bring in FDI for indirect investment. But you were able for actualize waiting at the output at the expense of what? So Dr. Marade asks, we need for do a comprehensive tax exemption audit The one the way with the exempt, I mean, look into them. So medium-term reforms. It's a revived strategic growth platform, stock exchange. Then one platform where they push development. Two is young entrepreneurs fund. Another is skills development fund. So they ask government for action this one. Two is to implement agricultural transformation, land policy reform, agricultural development bank, and value chain investment. He said this also will help for the economy sustain. Three, it's a rebuild infrastructure in energy, transport, and water to stimulate productivity. Conclusion. Sierra Leone stand at a crossroad. The 2025 supplementary budget offers a path of incremental change, one that preserves short-term stability but leaves structural weaknesses of our economy unaddressed. He said, my own record shows that it is possible to maintain debt sustainability, protect capital investment even during crisis, and implement governance reform that restore credibility at home and abroad. The choice before us now is stark. Keep polishing the numbers for applause, or start doing the hard work of reform that will turn statistics into a better life for our citizens. Our economy does not need cosmetic surgery. It needs reconstructive reform, and it needs it now. Dr. Kaifala Marah, former Minister of Finance, now leading flag bearer aspirant of the All People's Congress. Now in question, the work wey this Minister of Finance say they do, and the kind of development we see don't happen online watch. So Dr. Marah called them shiny numbers, deep problems. The number them fine. Me say far see them clap. I say what? But not be ever no say now so the thing what on that. So you can't tell around like I say all is well, but deep down, this is how fragile the economy. This is how rubbish the economy is. If I can borrow the statement from JJ Safa, he say the economy, he said they inherit a battered economy. So the minister was in parliament, he quote the number here when shining numbers, but the problem underneath is huge. Sierra Leoneans, we are all debtors. This is how problematic our economy looks like. This is how troubling our economy is. So let we all put hands together, let we get this savior Dr. Marah, we'll let carry the away from them people here. APC. Now we're going to take money and feel say them money anyway they give you. This is not problem of Salo 3.1 billion United States dollar now we owe internationally and nationally. Meaning all of us are debtors. Flag bearer aspirants when the past say you want to be president. Do you have what it takes to fix this? You get some? Not all going to shape money. Unfortunately, the people are poor, and these flag bearer aspirants are all over the place. Then they take advantage of them people they are. We go for come vote. Because they don't even know the problem within the economy. That's this money they're going to shape soon. Go sit down back. You flag bearer aspirant, go sit down back, ask yourself. Wait oh. Not all this don't go at the power. This kind of problem, I will solve them. Again, Sierra Leoneans, let we grow. This pettiness for going for pittance, 1 million, 2 million, one bag less, at the expense of this kind of problem where we all in salon are debtor. Look how the economy there in shambles. God bless Dr. Marah, they draw your attention to some of these. Now there we will go sit down and feel say we will just hand over this country to any kind Jack and Jill. All my want to be president. Me say something now. By age, I qualify to be president. Yes, I qualify to be president. What's up? Una vision no be president man. Una want to jump. Una vision no be president. We all want to be president. So we all get what it take to be president. Because this country now all gets up. Not so nobody papa gets up. Now all get this country also. But for once, let we sit down and let we think beyond the box. On both ends, people are so problematic. Sierra Leoneans and a winner, the architect of the problem. Flag bearers and they all over the place and say they want to be president. At the expense of this kind of problem. You not get the stability, you not get the know-how, you not get the connection for can fix the problem. But you're all over the place because you don't get access to money wey dey spend all over the place. Now you dey do what you call political bribery so that you go get you into the position. And when you can in the position, wetin dey happen now na for can thief. Na for can thief and don solve the problem. The money wey you no go trust or wey you don go get na wey other people dem don give you, dem political entrepreneurs wey don invest in you say go be president wey you can contract dem now dem go dey give. The Sierra Leonean people will continue to suffer. Development will be stifled because everything wey you get for dey do now na for pay back to them people wey give money for can put na the economy. For can put politics. And this is heartbreaking for the people and just dey all over the place. So me kindly want to ask the voters, over 1,800 voters of the All People's Congress, do ya when we dey go for vote, let's do the right thing. Hey, na motoka dem give you, that motoka dem last you pass 3 years. Hey, na money dem give you, that money where you eat down, you don't know, the angry dey continue. Hey, if we not do the right thing, we will continue to suffer. Dr. Marah na the way out, e don show say e get wetin e take to fix the problem. E don do am before, and e get the capability for do am back. We wey dey na the APC party, wey na decision makers, we dem pardon, we dem big one dem. Lord we learn to do the right thing for God and country. Some of we na that way dey die so now. Do the kind death wey dey left give pikin dem, great great pikin dem. How we want for be remembered? As a tribalist? So please, ladies and gentlemen, people of the All People's Congress, I want for them to be careful in the decision and the choice for get a flag bearer. This is how the country dey, and people that will believe say Dr. Marah no dey challenge the economy, you know they this, you know they that, they just don't show you say you know wetin dey happen at the economy, they don't challenge them back. Clearly, they don't count with facts and figures for challenge the minister say you don't like we, you don't deceive we. I mean, everything we go say in a parliament is deceitful. Now cosmetic development, you go put here that say the GDP they do well, the inflation rate they can down, the interest rate don't come down, all of this. But underneath, beneath that, the country they suffocate. The country they in serious shambles. Unfortunately, you have people all over the place who want to be flag bearer, they want to can be president, they don't even get a clue about what they happen in the economy. And we again, because we are rebellion, majority per we don't go in for money. We know they go in for sustainability. We know think out of the box and do the right thing for God and country. So me want for stop now today, and I also want for tell now thank you for following this program. Next week we'll continue with this program, courtesy of the then announced podcast. We will discuss issues of the economy by next week. Thank you very much. Thank you also, Leone.
Together. Without peace, we don't go before. Like you never know the balaka. This I no more regrets. For the sake of the kicking and let me make salon. What you not do for mama salon? When they say water, you say for from the back. And inside you there, give peace a chance. Every day, salon, anything you do, give peace a chance. Every day, salon, and inside you go, give peace a chance. And every day, salon. Salon. woman do ya push it. This na the temple let me make we country. Government property, not on land, you not out in the streets, not in the office. Waiting up for we, not on land, you Then the next salon.